Alright everybody, what is going on? We're hopping into a 200% video here for LR Ultimate Gohan. So, I am running like the official superhero setup as endorsed by Polarity here. You're going to notice that our health is a little low. We actually got pretty decent RNG on the first turn, other than our rotations themselves. So our first rotation was these three right here, and I put Gamma 1 in slot 1, and I think he's fully built up at this point. He got a lot of hits in and did not eat a super attack. Then in slot 2, I had MVP 17, and he was able to get fully built up, but he took like 70k from the AoE. And then he ended up eating the super attack for like 220k, I think, even after he got fully built up. Of course, we didn't have his damage reduction because it was turn 1, and then Trunks took like 80k from the AoE, but that's neither here nor there. We are, you know, low HP to start this, so we'll see how far we can get, but we got some pretty good orbs here, and of course we got these two support units. So anyway, the point of the video is we're doing a 200% showcase for Ultimate Gohan. This is probably going to be a bit of a longer one compared to my normal 200% showcases. I'm going to try to get them into a lot of different fights here. Part of the reason I'm doing this is we are about to get a new Beast Gohan on JP, and I already had this thumbnail made from, when did I make this? Hang on. This might have been made back in, like, May. Can I have a date on this, please? Let's see. Properties. November. I made this thumbnail back in November and never used it, so I want to use it. Here we go. And I figured, you know, no time like now. We're getting one for anniversary here soon, so I wanted to go ahead and get this video filmed and out. Now, what do we want to do here? We probably want to leave Orange Piccolo on rotation here. I don't know. Maybe this is a misplay. I got to remember that all of my movements here are being, like, precisely calculated and analyzed by people. I think we can go ahead and spare 2 key spheres here to make sure that Piccolo gets a super attack. Then we can give the rest of these here to Ultimate Gohan. Remember that he will get 2 key whenever Piccolo gets hit, so we're going to be doing decent on key. And then here pretty soon, hopefully, we can start getting our support units rolling. That way we can, you know, get some more key around this guy. The biggest issue with this guy, well, one of the biggest issues I've always had with this guy is his key. I've always found his key to be like a major issue. Now right here it's not going to be a problem, but remember that he needs to get to 20 key right here in order to get a great chance of, or a additional super that has a great chance of becoming a super attack, which you get is 70%. And another issue I have with this guy is that he builds up by doing super attacks. So if this fails, which if you guys have seen my luck, 70% chances are not free around here. So I usually have a pretty hard time building him up just because I'm getting a lot of normals with him. So that's kind of my issue. And then he also is super effective against all types at 24 key. That's just damage, so I'm not super concerned about that. But it's just kind of lame, you know, that like you look at what Orange Piccolo's doing, and you compare the two, and it's like, it's not close how much better Orange Piccolo was than this guy on release, and it's true even to this day. If we can get the cord back, please. I kind of knocked it a little bit here. But it's kind of true to this day, how well, like, Piccolo has aged compared to Gohan. Some people like to argue Gohan in the top 10, and in some instances, I can kind of maybe see it, and I kind of get where they're coming from. But to me, this guy's issue, like, I never find myself wanting to run this guy. I more of just run him out of, like, I hope that he does well. But anyway, here's my build that I have on him. I'm sure people are going to have issues with this, but this is what we have going on here. 25 dodge, 3 crit. He doesn't really need crit. And then 10 additional. So, I mean, I could change this around, but I'm pretty happy with, like, where these numbers ended up. So, that's what we're going with here. I do like full dodge on this guy. I think it's a really good build for him, because, like, after his guard wears off, he does kind of become a sitting duck. So, if you're going longer than, you know, 4 turns in a fight, 5 turns in a fight, this guy's going to be really susceptible to damage. But yeah, anyway, it's like, he's always kind of been in the discussion of, like, top 20-ish units for me, but I don't know. I just don't like running him. 1, because he never works for me. 2, he's just really underwhelming. I mean, the active skill is providing you almost no value, and then I've just had many runs where this guy, his guard wears out, and then he's the direct reason why I lose a run. Now, in this fight, he does have a little bit of value here. 1, he's type advantage in the first phase, but 2, he can actually nullify Zamasu's super attack in this first phase, so with this fight being a bit of a shorter fight, you having access to Orange Piccolo, And, like, the Ki Blast nullification, you can kind of do pretty well in this fight. Okay, we got the 70% chance. That's really good. He could do one more. We need to do 5 super attacks to fully build him up, and we did not get it. Do we get the Ki Blast nullification here? We do not. Okay, so he eats it for 136k. We are still alive. Barely, but we are still alive here. And we're going to be moving on to the next rotation. I probably won't skip from here on out. I just wanted to open the video with Gohan's intro animation, or entrance animation. That's just how I wanted to open the video. So on this next rotation, we'll have Gamma 1, MVP 17, and the other Orange Piccolo. We could potentially go ahead and use the other Orange Piccolo, which I may do. That's kind of like one of the reasons why people gas up like Ultimate Gohan is because of Orange Piccolo. And to an extent, I understand, but I think it's important to have a separation between, like, a good unit and a unit who is, like, riding... Like, this is the... If we're looking at this team, right, for those of you who aren't football fans, I'm going to do a bit of a football, American football reference here, right? So if we're looking at this team, right, and, you know, Orange Piccolo is Patrick Mahomes. You know, 3-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time MVP, like, what is it, 6-time All-Pro, like, one of the greatest quarterbacks, if not the greatest quarterback of all time. Like, that's Orange Piccolo right here. And, like, Ultimate Gohan is like Kadarius Toney. Like, yeah, he's on the team. You know, last year, he got a touchdown against the Eagles. That was pretty good. But then this year, they had to put him on the healthy scratch list because he's actually just such a detriment to the team most of the time. It's like, yeah, he's had a few good plays here and there, but for the most part, he's only a champion by proxy of the GOAT, right? So that's kind of the way you can look at that. So let me know if what you guys think about that reference there. He should be at, like, Gamma 1 should be at double digits here. I'm not super concerned. You should be at double digits because we have your full passive active. I mean, the only thing I would be concerned about is if Orange Piccolo eats a super attack, but he's not going to until after he gets hit. We have so much support here. I think it's going to be okay if I risk it, because he'll be fine post-super attack. So this is... there's no reason to risk this, but I'm going to. We'll get a little bit of healing from that. I mean, we should be fine here. It is the long way of saying we should be fine here. Again, he's at double digits, he's at double digits, and then MVP 17 is. The only way we could die is if maybe Gamma 1 ate the super attack, I guess? But I feel like Fusion Zamasu is going to super immediately. I don't know, we'll see, we'll see. Maybe I screwed up there. Okay, 0 damage is pretty good. Maybe I should have put MVP 17 in the middle, but I want to get MVP 17 next to Ultimate Gohan because they share shocking speed, and he gives 3 key support, so... I'm not sure how much damage offhand Gamma 1 would take. He does raise defense on super attack, so he's going to be over like 800k here with guard and damage reduction. So I can't imagine that he would take damage from a 1.2 million damage super attack. Same thing with 17 here. You know, he's also got his huge damage reduction. He's fully built up. He's getting a super attack in first. Oh, Zamasu just doesn't super. Okay. Well, that's fine. We do have access to Orange Piccolo again. We do have access to Ultimate Gohan. Now this is where it starts getting a little bit tough, because this is going to be Orange Piccolo and Ultimate Gohan's last turn with guard. Now, I did just notice one thing, is we got the heal there. That is actually Orange Piccolo's full passive kicking in. If you guys, I'm going to probably do a video for this guy, but in the event I don't, if he receives an attack 7 or more times in battle, then on your next turn, if you enter the turn under 30% HP, he will heal and then get an extra 30% damage reduction. So that's what actually happened right there. And it's partially one of the reasons I didn't want to use an item there. I just hadn't gotten to that point yet. But anyway, this is their last turn with guard. So Orange Piccolo is going to be fine. He's got 50% damage reduction, guard, 800k defense. I'm not too concerned about him. The question is, what should I do now? If I'm an Ultimate Gohan Glazer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to float him off here, because on the next turn, on turn 6, we'll be able to get Trunks' standby. It'll pretty much just be a guaranteed win. There's no real reason to go ahead and use... there's no real reason to use Orange Piccolo here. So if I was to save Trunks right here, then on my next turn, right, on turn 6, whenever we get back to this rotation, I pop Orange Piccolo, I pop the standby, and I win. right? Like, that's what would happen. And again, effectively, Ultimate Gohan would have done nothing for us other than 2 super attacks and eaten a super attack. Like, that's all he's done for us. Has he done anything else that I missed? He hasn't done anything other than make this guy great. So, I'm just trying to get all my thoughts on these guys out here. Just, you know, let me know what you guys think. Because it is Gohan Showcase, though, I'm going to leave him on rotation. Again, that probably seems like a bad move, but, you know, it's his video, so I want to highlight him in, like, situations to see if he himself can hold up to the pressure. And it's like, oh, well, if you're going for the win, then, you know, it's like you just use this and win. And it's like, you're right. But it's important to know what these guys do on their own. And whenever you're ranking units, I don't think it should be based on what other, like, we can, let me phrase this correctly. So, like, Orange Piccolo, we can grade him highly because of what he's doing for the rotation. And you could say, like, oh, well, he's only able to do that because Ultimate Gohan is here. And that's partially true, but I can replace this guy with several other superheroes. Like, if I just go look at the superhero category real quick, and I just take a glance at characters that I could put on this team that are going to provide, like, equal or greater value, I mean, immediately you can look at, like, AGL UI Goku, and someone's going to go, like, oh, AGL UI Goku. It's like, he has a 70% chance to dodge in this fight. If I just wanted to have another superhero character around in a low-pressure environment that, you know, it's like, Gohan, is he doing damage, is he not? I don't really want to get into that, like, argument of, like, oh, does he do damage? But it's like, his whole role, what you're arguing at that point is, what is he doing for this guy? And I can tell you that what this guy does for him and what UI Goku does for him are essentially the same thing. I have pretty good confidence that if I put AGL UI Goku in this second slot here, if, like, we take everything out of the picture, we put AGL UI Goku right here, I have about the same level of confidence as I do with Gohan. And, like, once I get to the physical phase, I feel much more comfortable with AGL UI Goku because of the dodge chance that I do with this guy who's just going to get blasted off the field. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? And then you got, like, Vegeta and Trunks, the STR UI Goku once he easy A's. So, like, you have characters like that. Eventually, the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta are going to easy A. Like, I'd much rather have them in this situation. I think they have Prepared for Battle, right? Am I making that up? Do they have Prepared for Battle? Where are they? I'm trying to, sorry. You guys can't see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this right here. Do they have Prepared for Battle? I don't think they do. No, they don't. Okay, so, I mean, they'd be a little bit out of place on this team. I mean, but I do have this team set up specifically for Ultimate Gohan. Like, I'm bringing Gamma 1. I mean, Gamma 1's actually pretty decent for this fight, as long as he doesn't eat a super immediately. But it's like, these two I'm bringing specifically to help this guy. And this whole team setup is specifically to help this guy. So that's what's happening here. Let's go ahead and grab these key spheres. We could pop his active skill, and it's actually a pretty decent chance that Fusion Zamasu is super attacking immediately, but let's just save it for the physical phase for later in the fight. I don't even think we're going to get to physical Trunks at the end, so I don't really care if he gets a stack. Again, if I was going for the win here, if I absolutely wanted to win, what I would have done is kept Trunks on rotation. That way we could just go into his standby, no big deal, we win, right? But because it's Ultimate Gohan, I want to see how he does against these normals. I want to see if he, you know, can eat a super attack, dodge attack, like whatever. I just want to see him on rotation. I mean, right here, we have a huge display of what I was talking about at the beginning with his key issues. If we had gotten better opening rotations, I could have floated off maybe MVP 17 on the first rotation, and he would be right there instead of Trunks. But I really wanted to keep Gamma 1 and MVP 17 next to each other for their Android links, since that was a bit of a weaker defensive rotation. Okay, so that was Gohan's third super attack, I believe. So he's done 3 out of 5. Remember that his active skill will count as one of the attacks. So on this next rotation, we should be able to get him fully built up. But he's going to be missing out on his intro buff, which does give him, what is it? Guard, and then an extra 100% stats at the start of turn. So it's going to be a little bit tricky on our, what is it, turn 6 whenever we get there. Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and pop Orange Piccolo here just so that this rotation is safe. I probably don't have to, but, well, do I? If Gamma, like, if the super attack was immediately and Gamma 1 nullified it, I wouldn't need to. But these guys, we had them on turn 2. So they're still guarding. Maybe I should do this? Because they can just dodge the super attack. But I'm just going to use Orange Piccolo so I don't have to think about it. I'll be right. Listen, I'll be right back, guys. Okay, we're back here, everybody. What is going on? So we should be safe from super attacks. I didn't pay attention to where he super attacked, like on that last rotation. But we should be fine here. Gamma 1's built up, you know, we've got all this good stuff going for us. This unit's still guarding. Ooh, excuse me. Probably what I want to do here is we got them on turn 2, so they're not going to be able to fuse until turn 6. So I guess on turn 7 we'd be fine. So I guess we'll leave them on rotation here. Let's go ahead and grab... I guess we'll grab these. I wanted to save these for Gamma 1. But, well... I mean, we're safe. I could put Orange Piccolo in slot 1. I guess I will. There's no reason not to. Let me grab all of these. And then we can grab the... Well, I want to save the physical orbs for Gohan. Okay, so we'll grab these. We won't get an 18-key stack with them. But they should still be guarding. We got them on turn 2. They should be guarding. I hope. And then we'll just grab these. So, Gamma 1's going to be fine here. Orange Piccolo's fine. Really, everybody's fine here. It's just a matter of... I had to use Orange Piccolo. I mean, I didn't have to use Orange Piccolo on this rotation. It was pretty safe. But it just makes me more comfortable in a showcase sense to go ahead and pop it. Know that I'm safe here and that I can get to the next rotation. And then we could also use the Orange Piccolo on the next rotation as well to protect Ultimate Gohan. And again, that's like one of people's like big arguments is that Ultimate Gohan works well on this superhero team. You know, he makes Orange Piccolo's active skill, like you can get it on turn 3. Orange Piccolo protects him. It's you know, kind of like a, I don't want to call it symbiotic, but it's kind of symbiotic in the sense of like, Gohan allows Piccolo to get his active skill sooner, assuming that, you know, you're running a superhero team, right? And, on the split side, Orange Piccolo protects Gohan. You know, Gohan's biggest weakness is his defense. And although Piccolo's not really providing direct defensive support, what he is doing is that he's canceling these bosses' special abilities out for at least one turn, which can really, in a lot of these fights, and a lot of these short fights, you know, push you over the edge into what you need here. 1 second, let me get the cord back. There we go. See, but yeah, because there's a lot of times in this game where it's like, man, if I just had, you know, if I just hadn't gotten caught on that one turn, things like the dominoes would have fallen into place and things would have worked out for us. And so that's kind of where Orange Piccolo can really help you, is he can get you through that one turn. This Piccolo should have his full passive. He's got his full 50% damage reduction. So I think I'm fine leaving him in slot 1. We can't get him an 18 key, but he doesn't really need it. That's another really good thing about Piccolo, by the way, is that Piccolo, on both of his super attack effects, is getting 50% defense. So see, he greatly raises attack and defense. That's 50% for one turn. And then here, he gets 50% defense and then 30% attack. Gohan is actually the opposite. Gohan gets 50% on his, he gets like basically the same on his 18 key. It's the same effect. But then they switched it for his 12 key. So he gets a higher attack stat, but less defense. I think that does actually matter. You know, that 20% defense may not seem like a lot, but it really does matter. And then also you start looking at their start of turn stats. I mean, Piccolo here is at 702k, and then he's at 375. Neither of them are guarding at this point, but he has 50% damage reduction. He doesn't have anything. He just has a chance to be super effective against all types. Like, make it make sense. Let's go ahead and play his active skill, though. We'll go ahead and do that. right, there we go. So remember that was Gohan's 4th super attack. The active skill counts as a super attack for the passive buildup. So he only needs to do 1 more to be fully built up. Notice how his defense shot up there a little bit. That's from getting built up just a little bit more. So that definitely does help us out here. And then lastly, the one thing I do want to mention is that Ultimate Gohan's active skill, honestly, it's not very good damage-wise. Like, it's okay, but it's, like, compared to a lot of these new active skills, and then, like, especially the new 9th anniversary units, this thing really lags behind in the damage that it should be doing. But, the good value that it does have is that it has an action break. So normally, you see Zamasu had 1 attack right there at the start. Decent chance that's a super attack, but regardless, Orange Piccolo are, like, we're the weakest on this rotation at the start of turn. Well, and then I guess MVP 17 at the end, but I'm hoping that Zamasu's out of here by this guy's turn. But point being here is that if Orange Piccolo was to take damage on this rotation, it would be before he supers. Because after he super attacks, remember, he gets 50%. So this is going to go up to basically 1,000,000 defense with 50% damage reduction after he super attacks. Again, we have 20% at the start of turn, and then we got his full passive active, so we got 30% more damage reduction right here at the bottom. So we have a total of 50%. So 1,000,000 defense, 50% damage reduction. He could double super, and then we'd be at, like, 1.4 million defense. With 50% damage reduction, obviously, is pretty good. So let's go ahead and grab Gohan his orbs. He's going to be at a full 24 key super attack here. Again, we are getting defensive support and key support and shocking speed from 17. So we got a pretty decent amount of links active here. We have, like, his important links active. Like, All in the Family is good, but you're not really going to get this active with anybody. If you're running Earthbred Fighters, potentially you could get it, and it is an important link. It'll help them out a lot, but, you know, it's going to be pretty uncommon that you see this activated. Same Warrior Race is just damage. Same with Infighter. Those don't really matter. And then Kamehameha is also damage. So, like, his important link that he has is just shocking speed because it's key and defense. And key, again, is where he really lags behind compared to, like, some of the new other summonable LRs. And it is important for him because he gets a lot of defense on 18 key. Like, Orange Piccolo, if he gets a 12 key, it's not a big deal because either way, he's still getting 50% defense. But Gohan, he needs the key for his additional super attacks, super effective against all types, and for his, like, higher defense. So let's go ahead, quit blabbering on here, and see what happens. Again, decent chance that we busted a super attack there, but, you know, there's no way to really know unless we get super attacked on this rotation. But if there's no super attack, I'm just going to chalk it up to we busted it right there. So that'd be pretty cool. Orange Piccolo does, you know, a little bit of damage. If we had gotten crits there, it would have been a lot more. No super attack. Gohan shoots out an 11 million. He is fully built up now because this is his 5th super attack. He could potentially do 2 more. We have a 70% chance to do a second one, which we do not get, and then we could get the hidden potential chance, which is like 20% basically. We don't get it, and then he takes 80k, and then 60k. That's actually a pretty big variance there. But yeah, I mean, it's just, like, maybe he provided us some value on this rotation. We'll see if we get supered. MVP 17 double supered, that's good. But if MVP 17 gets super attacked, I mean, we'll move on to the next fight if that happens. That's a dodge. Okay, so, I mean, there is a decent chance that we actually broke the super attack right there. I can't rule out that it didn't happen. Wow, okay, let's go ahead and play these. I mean, I know it's the Ultimate Gohan Showcase, but let me just play these, okay? We're going to watch a movie here for a second. Feel free to skip ahead in the video if you're not into this, but listen, we got to play the movie, right?
ベジータ。くそ、1時間耐えてやる。俺はベジータとカカロットの合体ベジットだ。そしてこれが ベジートブラどうした？俺のスピードにはついてこられないか？捕まりやがれ！
邪魔をするというのなら受けて立とう。私こそがスーパーヒーローだ。
Lore accurate. Sorry, I saw the Gamma 1 intro and I was like, oh wait, hang on. That's we got to play the lore accurate fight there. Again, we're skipping to turn 2 here because we got this guy in turn 2 again. This is actually the second time I'm popping into this Goku Black fight. The first time we ate a super attack in slot 1 on Orange Piccolo and he took like it was a lot. It was like 284, 300k, something like that. And then MVP 17 ate a normal for 484k. And then this time we actually dodged the super attack with these guys, but then he still ate a normal for 484k because I had him on turn 1. If you get this guy on turn 1 in this fight, I mean, I don't want to say it's over, but I mean, you guys can see it's definitely not good. So we're hopping in here to the Goku Black fight. I've been told that this fight is a very hard fight. I definitely think it can be tough, but this fight is prone to a lot of, do I want to call it variance? Fluidity? This fight, it's every time you hop into this fight, you're going to get a different experience. Sometimes Goku Black is just going to bully you immediately and knock you out of there. Other times, he could go like 4 turns in a row without super attacking. But this will be a pretty decent fight for Ultimate Gohan and maybe show off some of his abilities in that, again, he's guarding for his first 2 turns. So if you get a setup like this where it's like, okay, you know, this guy's STR at the start, but we do have guard. And then his second phase is int. So this guy has type advantage against the int phase, which is favorable for us. So that's kind of one of I wanted to show off here with this fight. So that's why we're hopping into here next. I do plan on hopping into Omega as well, because I've been told that is a completely free fight and, you know, it's very easy. So, again, we're getting shocking speed from Gamma 1 and then 1 key support. So not quite as good as MVP 17 support, but we're still going to be able to get to 18 key here. Because of Orange Piccolo's 2 key support, but we're actually not going to be able to get to 20 key, well, yeah, but we're not going to be able to get to 20 key because, Piccolo only gives 2 key support whenever he gets hit, so we'll be 1 key shy of being able to get this guy's additional, super attack. Remember, they locked a 70% chance to super attack that you need to build up behind getting 20 key. So, just add that to my list of reasons why I don't like this unit. Let's go ahead and grab that right there. We got 2 attacks in the middle. Remember that also the key ball, like the black key ball or whatever that this guy does, is a key blast super attack. So, potentially we could nullify it here. We don't need to be super greedy with the orbs for Gamma 1 because, again, Orange Piccolo is going to get us 2 key support. So, let's just grab this green key right here and, I mean, see what happens. hopefully if the super attack is anywhere, it's on Ultimate Gohan. That's actually what I would like to see here, is the super attack on him. Hopefully he nullifies it. I would like to get that in the video at some point. I think after this I'm going to hop into the Omega fight, and then that's probably the 3 fights I'm going to do, is this, Omega, and Fusion Zamasu. I thought the Fusion Zamasu fight went well, but in between like my runs here, I was left wondering, what value did Gohan give us in the Fusion Zamasu fight? Maybe he broke a super attack. We cannot prove or prove against. Like, we cannot say that he did or didn't. Like, it's impossible to tell. And we're dead here, by the way. So we're going to have to hop back in here. This fight can be tough. I mean, like, if you're getting caught on the wrong characters, you just die. So I guess let's just go ahead and hop back in here. I mean, you guys can see. Maybe I should change the team up a little bit. Like, I don't know, bringing Trunks in here probably isn't the smartest play. But, again, I'm just trying to have some consistency with the team build here. Because this is, like, the official superhero setup. Maybe they would change it. Maybe they would go with, because, like, who else is on superheroes here? Like, maybe instead of Trunks, we could go for Gogeta Blue, or maybe Gamma 2. I don't really like running Gamma 2 in here, though, because of the second phase. Listen, I like Vegeta and Trunks in this fight. Or really, I just like them in general. But this fight's not really built well for them. So, yeah, I don't know who else I would bring in here. Again, this unit, if they were Easy Aid, I would definitely bring in here. But, yeah, there's not, like, I would like to bring maybe some AGL options, but there's not really any modern AGL options in here, other than, like, the Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta. Again, I could bring this guy potentially, but, you know, it is what it is. I could maybe bring Gamma 2 in here, but I'm not... This isn't the video to test that out in. Oh, and look who's in slot 7. I could reset... Yeah, let's do it. I still have attempt limits, by the way, but it's like... I'm looking at that second rotation going, if we don't fall below the HP threshold, then... that second rotation was looking mighty suspicious. Okay, let's see what we get here. Not much better, but I guess we'll make it work. Let me make sure the skips are on. Okay. Oh, no, we have MVP 17 again. Oh, no. Remember, he takes 484k here from a normal. So... that's post-super attack. So, I guess we'll do this. We'll just see what happens here. Let's grab these. And then we will save all of these physical orbs here for Ultimate Gohan next turn. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, let's see what happens. I mean, if he supers immediately... Okay, he didn't. We could survive here. If, as long as 17 isn't getting supered at the end, we will survive this turn. But, again, this Goku Black is very unpredictable. You know, Truth always seems to have insane luck with this fight. Every time he hops into here, this guy never supers him. Meanwhile, I hop in here, and he just targets my physical units directly every single time. So, that's, you know, this fight, you want to bring physical units for the second phase, but it makes it kind of tough here for the STR, and it's looking like 470k. Slot 1 right here, I think we just have to put, Gohan in slot 1, I think. Again, he can nullify the super attack, so if there is a super attack, he has a 50% chance to just block it. We're going to be able to get all those physical key spheres, get us a little bit of healing. I guess I'll leave Gamma 1 on rotation, because he's guarding and supporting, so I guess I'll do that. And then we'll just give Trunks, like, this right here. That should be fine. Okay, again, this is going to be rough, but 100k normal, and we have to block this or we're dead. We ate it, and 500k. All right. Good showing there from Ultimate Gohan. That's not entirely his fault, but he was the strongest character on that rotation to go in slot 1. And he did have the full dodge build, so we could have dodged that. And then we also had the 50% chance to nullify it. I think, is this attempt 4 or is this attempt 5? This might be attempt 5. And he's in slot 7 again. All right, let's just play this out, I guess, and see how it goes. I'd like to get some footage of Gohan in this fight, other than just 100k, 100k, 500k dead, you know? Ooh, this is tough. I think I want to do this. Grab all these for Orange Piccolo. Grab these for Gamma. And then we'll grab those. That'll get us an 18 key with them because of Orange Piccolo's support. Alright, no immediate super. As long as the super attack isn't in the middle, we should be fine here. The other two units on rotation can eat the super attack very well. It's literally just Gamma 1 that cannot, like, he can't do anything about it, so... Please. Please, Goku, cut me a little slack, man, please. Please, buddy. Oh, that's a double super. Dude, I thought for certain he was loading up the super attack there. Goku Black, chill, buddy, please. We get it, man. You're good. Like, stop. Oh. We are guarding. Oh. That's pretty good. That feels pretty good. I'm just saying that feels pretty good. Okay. Now here's the issue, though. We are not under 77% HP. We are not, so, alright, we're gonna have to do this. Orange Piccolo can't save us until turn 3. So, we'll grab these key spheres right here. Grab those for Trunks. And then we'll grab... Please give me the green. Okay. That'll group the STR orbs up. Okay, okay. Double digits. This guy... I forget how long his cooldown is. Hopefully he doesn't super Trunks. Please. Please, man, I can't. Remember that physical MVP 17 at the end there is taking 480k from the normal attack. So we really... We can't afford any damage, Trunks. We need a triple super attack. Trunks can do okay in here as long as he's getting his supers. Like, please give me the triple. Okay, thank you. That gets us the full damage reduction. We get some defense. Like, it's looking okay as long as we don't eat a super attack. There's the full dodge build. We love it. We love the full dodge build on Trunks. I was actually thinking about changing that just the other day, but I was like, no. I need the dodge. No, please. Woo! 470. Pretty good. Pretty good. I am tempted to use Orange Piccolo here already. Because we're not going to get much benefit out of it in the int phase, so I am very tempted to use it here. In fact, I think I'm going to. So we're going to go ahead and cut and come back whenever Orange Piccolo is done. Okay, we're back. And actually, the very first attack on the rotation was a super attack, so I do think we made the correct call here. I don't really care if Piccolo super attacks or not. In fact, I prefer if he didn't, so I'm just going to hold back there. That way we can maximize attacks with Gohan, who will be at 24 key here, so that's the plan. And then Gamma 1, I mean, I don't think he's going to get to super attack, but should he get to super attack here, he, has his key from Piccolo's support. Again, Piccolo is just like the GOAT, giving 2 key support every time he gets hit, and is just a very powerful slot 1 unit for a lot, like for a good portion of the fight. I cannot stress enough how good Orange Piccolo is. Nice. We got a double super attack. Again, he needs to do 5 to build up, so this is 2 out of 5. His active skill will count as 1, so we're doing okay. We also got him in slot 7, so he is still going to be guarding, which doesn't matter too much against an enemy, but it will matter a little bit, so we can't fuse yet. We could use Orange Piccolo, which... Okay, we're back here, and again, I'm very, very, very glad that I used this. But I am actually going to float off Orange Piccolo now, because he has served his purpose. He has served his role. Although I do want these tech orbs with him. But nah, we'll not do that. I guess I'll save these int orbs for Ultimate Gohan next turn. I'll grab these with Trunks. Yeah, let me do this. Well, no, I need a super attack with Piccolo. Okay, I think Piccolo was still guarding there, but listen, we're not gonna get super attacked on this turn, but just in case, okay, let's just get the super attack, okay? It's, I understand we're trying to showcase Gohan, and so I should be making plays to make him look good. Otherwise, people are going to be in the comments with, like, exact timestamps telling me every single time that I misplayed and misspoke, and they're going to be going, well, I would have done this, or you wasted this, or you rushed this, or you're a coward, or, you're disingenuous in using him. And it's like, I feel like I'm explaining every move that I'm making, very well. And, like, the thoughts that I have behind this character, like, you know, and again, I wouldn't even say Ultimate Gohan has looked bad here. I mean, obviously, the turn where he got, you know, he's eating 100k normals, then took the super for 500k and didn't nullify it or dodge it. I mean, that looked pretty bad. And you can't even, like, fault me too much. That's just the game. You know, I feel like a lot of players now are on private servers where they forget that, like, attempt limits are a thing and they can just, you know, reset until they get a good run. Or maybe they're just really lucky and they just always get good rotations. I mean, either way, I'm not one of those people. I load in and I have MVP 17 first turn against this guy every single turn. Whereas if I had him in, you know, another rotation, he's not going to take, hopefully, 490k in this fight, you know. But anyway, I digress. Let's just, let's use Ultimate Gohan's active skill again. Let's just play this and, let's look at Beastie Boy. Okay, there we go. Sorry again about the cord issues. I've got an ice pack now on it. It should start cooling down a little bit. So normally I feel like, how would we want to play this rotation? We could play this a lot of different ways. We don't know if he's super attacking or not. But Gohan's probably our best bet to put in slot 1 here. Remember that it's not super important that we get him up to 24 key here. Because whenever you activate the active skill, it gives him access to the other parts of his passive. So, like, right here, the only thing that we're missing out on is his extra defense that he gets on his 18 key. Remember that he's only getting 30% defense on his 12 keys here. That's this Explosive Demon Flash. This is his 12 key. We still get the high attack, but we don't get the extra 20% defense. But anyway, he should be fine here in slot 1. I mean, I think he'd be our best defensive character here in slot 1 in the event that Goku Black decided to super us. We'll group up these green orbs and give those to Piccolo, get us a tiny bit of healing, and by a tiny bit, I mean a ton, actually. Holy cow. And we attack broke, of course, the classic attack right before the super attack, and then we took 400k, which, by the way, we only survived because Piccolo's starter turn defense was really high, and so we were able to heal from those orbs. But so anyway, there we go. And then there's the normal attack to end us off. Alright, there's the classic 70% chance to super attack. Alright, well, there we go. I can't really say the tanking was good there. And I can't really say, like, would MVP's tank better there? Maybe. He would have had a lot of damage reduction there, but I mean, he also could have just KO'd Goku Black, which we wouldn't want, right? I don't know. Okay, we're going to do the Omega fight next. That one might be a little bit tricky with this team, but we'll give it a go. We'll see how it goes. Alright, here we are up against Omega Shinron here. Decent opening rotation. I'm going to leave Trunks here in the third slot, float him off, I guess. We'll throw MVP 17 in slot 1. Not ideal, but I don't want to put him in slot 1 because I don't want him to get stunned or something like that. So we'll go ahead and grab these orbs right here and open up these STR orbs for us. That'll get us our additional attack, which is what we want. And then we can give Trunks these int orbs right here to save the tech orbs for Orange Piccolo next turn. Of course, Omega opens with a super attack. This is going to do damage to us, but it won't kill us. Okay, well, okay, one second, we'll be back. Alright, here we are again, hopping back in. We got pretty odd opening rotations. I don't really want to have 2 Orange Piccolos on the rotation here, but we already see how MVP 17 gets down here, so I guess we'll go ahead and float him off. He should be fine in slot 3 because he's going to be able to get the debuff off. That was just really unfortunate. This Omega just really knows how to bully me. We'll grab those orbs right there. Remember that Trunks gets key support from Piccolo when it's... Buddy, let's link level our Piccolo here. But we don't need to be greedy here, is what I'm saying. So we can save these physical orbs for Ultimate Gohan next turn. Not a terrible opening rotation for Gohan next turn. I am thinking about leaving Gamma. Well, maybe I should leave the blues on rotation just in case we take enough damage. But I want to get Gamma 1 built up, so we'll see where the attacks are next turn. That'll determine what we do. We don't have any int units on the team, so we'll be able to go through this a little bit slowly, which will be good for our 2 future Saga units. But that's actually kind of bad for like the Gammas and the super, like just the superhero movie units, right? Like it's actually going to kind of be bad for them. This fight's kind of a mismatch for them in some sense, because this fight is one of the it's actually probably the longest fight we have in the game right now. So, you know, some of these characters that are designed around blitzing the fights aren't really going to be super well in here, because we're not able to blitz it, right? Like, they're designed around blitzing the event, but they don't really do blitzing damage. Whenever I think about blitzing damage, I think about the Super Saiyan trio, who come into this fight and just absolutely, like, walk it, you know? Like, it is not a problem for them whatsoever to just come in here and obliterate this fight. Let me grab these, and let's see what that does with the orbs. That still gets us what we need. So let's do this, though. And then we can save the STR orbs for the Gamma. For Gamma 1 right here. Okay. That's pretty good. That's quite a few attacks there at the end as well, so that'll be good for us. This is not good. But they are guarding, so it'll do damage, but yeah, not too much. We also debuffed Omega last turn, remember, with MVP 17. We did get the attack lowering off with him. And then also, I believe the Orange Piccolo's debuffed as well. Ultimate Gohan should debuff. So this is good. We're going to start lowering his attack to the point that we're going to be very safe. So that's good. That's good. We do get the 70% chance to additional super attack. That's great. I would love if he got the hidden potential at some point. That'd be pretty cool to see at some point, even if it was just a normal like that. Okay, pretty good. That's generally my experience with this guy, is that he does get the hidden potential attack quite often, but it's usually a normal in my experience. So we'll see what happens here. Again, Gamma 1 is actually better than Gohan and Orange Piccolo, because he gets his guard for 4 turns, which is just like monumental, because it means that you can float him and he'll still have his guard whenever he comes back. Whereas if you float Orange Piccolo and Gohan, they will not have their guard whenever they come back. So that is actually really important, and something to kind of keep in mind whenever we're talking about these units, is that, you know, if you float them, you lose out on that turn of guard. Whereas Gamma 1, you float him, he has it for 4 turns, so whenever he comes back, he will still have his guard up, which again is very nice, very nice. We'll save these int orbs, I guess, for next rotation, and we'll just grab that. We won't be able to super attack with that Piccolo at the end, but I'm not super concerned about it. The hardest phase for us is going to be the STR phase, so I'm likely just going to save the Orange Piccolos for the STR phase to try to save us, you know? That's going to be the play, is hopefully by turn 6, we are entering the STR phase and can just use the Orange Piccolo that I'm floating off. We'll be able to use his passive his active skill to go into Orange Piccolo, nullify the STR phase. Hopefully we can kind of go through it quickly. Maybe we'll be able to get Vegito by then. We'll see. You know, it's a lot of ifs, but we're definitely going to need Orange Piccolo by the time we get to that STR phase. So I want to have one on each rotation to help kind of protect us. We have a lot of physical units on this team who are going to be great for the int phase, but that STR phase could very well shred us. What do I want to do here? Again, this guy doesn't have his defense up, but we have debuffed this guy a lot. So I could maybe float these guys right here. Their first turn to fuse will be turn 6? Yeah, turn 6 will be their first turn to fuse, and then turn 8 would be after that. So I mean, it is what it is. We'll go ahead and float them. Well, but should I float this guy? This is tough. He's debuffed, so I'm not really concerned about putting this guy in slot 1. Yeah, let's just do this. We'll leave this guy on rotation because he works so well with Ultimate Gohan. Again, this is probably a fumble. There's already people commenting. They've already got the timestamp mark. They're already upset. But, you know, again, we just gotta... We gotta just make plays here and hope that they work out for us. But we'll see, we'll see. Okay, we're gonna have Orange Piccolo coming onto this rotation. So ideally, he can just protect our 2 physical units here. That would be, you know, the like, best case scenario. Gohan got 2 attacks last turn, or 2 super attacks, I should say. So he has 40% of his passive built up. Now he has 60% because this is our 3rd super attack. Okay, we got a normal, 1 more. No, and then we eat a super attack. Okay. So we've done 3 supers out of 5. Again, active skill will count for 1. I don't know if these guys can KO right here. I'll be totally honest with you. I don't think they've got that kind of juice in them. They're going to do a lot of attacks here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to actually do anything to this Omega type disadvantage, and they're just super low attack stats. Yeah, look at this. We're just chipping away at them. I don't know if that's good or bad. Next rotation, we would have Trunks, Orange Piccolo, and Gamma 1. So this is actually probably good that we're not using this here. I will save the standby. Yes, and I'll float Gamma 1. I would love to be greedy and put Gamma 1 in front of all of these attacks. Maybe I should. I have the blues coming onto this rotation. We're going to be greedy. Listen, this is probably a huge fumble. But I'm going to be very greedy here. I feel as though I must greed here. Okay, so we used up Gohan's 2 turns of guard, by the way. Gamma 1's fully built up. That's good. Trunks is getting another stack. That's good. He'll be able to go into his standby on the next turn still. We're not going to be able to fuse... Well, we might... We'll see. We'll see what happens here. We're going to have to pop Orange Piccolo immediately, probably. Yeah, the AoE is immediately. So, I mean, it's not like immediately. He's actually healing first. But, yeah, we need to go ahead and pop Orange Piccolo here. Okay, we're out of Orange Piccolo here. Sorry about that, everybody. But we had to protect ourselves. I assume he's super attacked. I never actually noticed. But regardless, it gets rid of the AoEs, which is very important. We're not guarding. We're at 357k defense. I have to put Orange Piccolo in slot 1, I feel like. I don't need to give him very much ki because he'll get 2 ki here. Remember, we have the other Orange Piccolo coming onto this rotation as well. I think I'm going to save the active skill. There's no, like, pressure to use it right now, so I'm not going to. We'll be able to get up to full 24 ki after Piccolo gets hit, which will be nice. That'll get us super effective against all types, help us get out of this STR phase faster. Ideally here, Ultimate Gohan does give us at least 2 super attacks. He's going to have a 70% chance to get that additional, so hopefully he gives it to us. Because, again, I want to get out of this STR phase quick. You guys see all these physical characters we're running? Omega doesn't hit super hard, but is MVP 17 going to take damage from those 2 normals? He might. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, I mean, Ultimate Gohan's going to look good here. I don't remember how many attacks he's done at this point. Is it 3? Has he done 3 super attacks at this point? Maybe? 3? 3 sounds right. So hopefully we can get number 4 and 5 right here. That'll help his start of turn defense quite a bit. 9.9 million attack stat, by the way. Super effective against all types. I can't really say that's impressive, but, I mean, he is like 2 years old now, basically, at this point. No, 1 year old? He's a little over 1 year old now. Okay, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here. We do get the double super attack, which is nice. We're at double digits, of course. No super attack, by the way, on this rotation, so we are safe. Hopefully MVP 17 is fine here. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. I think this Omega doesn't hit very hard until post super attack. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now, we don't... Oh, that's actually perfect. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I do have the skips on. We already watched these in this video, so no need to play these again. But we are going to go ahead and do these. Beautiful. Should I play this now? I think I'll save it. Yeah, I mean, there's no, like, pressure to use it now other than to, like, buff up Trunks. Let's just grab that. Then we can grab all of this AGL key right here. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. That'll give us quite a bit of healing. A little bit there. Gamma 1's built up, so I'm not super concerned about him. He's not guarding anymore, but he does still have like 50% damage reduction? 35%? 50% damage reduction, yeah. So he should be fine from the AoEs. I mean, he's not even going to get to attack here, so I don't care how much ki I'm going to give him. Trunks is going to do his barrage of attacks, and then Vegeto's going to do his barrage of attacks. So there's like a 0% chance that Gamma 1 gets to attack on this turn. So the only thing he's really providing us is the extra little bit of ki support and the defensive support that he's giving us, which I don't think is really even going to matter too much. But we'll see. I mean, maybe it could matter. This is actually really good for us, the standby, getting Trunks right here. Because that means we're going to, like, on turn 9, whenever we get back here, Trunks will be able to pop his standby, right? And it'll do huge damage to that Int Omega. That healing, maybe I should have gotten ki with Gamma 1 there. I didn't notice that heal there. I thought Trunks was going to do a lot more damage than he did, I'll be honest with you. Okay, well, maybe Vegeto's got me. Maybe Vegeto's got my back here. Because he's got, like, what, 3 more super attacks coming in, potentially? Like, this one and then 2 more, I think. Like, he does, like, 5 supers here. Here comes another one. I think he does 1 more here. Or maybe 2 more? I don't know. He does a lot of attacks. That's the point. Hopefully we get a crit. There we go. 1 more for sure. Yeah, easy. Okay. Yeah, I was right. Vegeto's got me. Let me relax. Ultimate Gohan's built up, so his active skill next turn is going to do quite a bit of damage. The only thing... Oh, we will have the other Orange Piccolo, so we're going to be able to pop that. So real quick, I'm going to go watch, like, Truth's community reaction. I will be right back. Okay, we're back, everybody, and we've got a pretty good... I tried my best to, like, set up the orbs really well for Gohan here. Again, he is fully built up. We don't have to worry about super attacks, AoEs, anything like that, so we're going to go ahead and throw him. Actually, let's go ahead and pop the active skill first right here. We don't have any support or anything like that, but let's just go ahead, get it one more time in the video, and just play it right here. Okay, very nice. Again, doesn't do too much damage there. But we are, again, super effective against all types. I mean, we're going to get 24 ki, so it doesn't really matter. But we have his full passive activated. That's a very clean attack stat number right there. Look at that. Is that 1.89 million? That's pretty good. Defense isn't great, but we are type effective, so it's not like a huge deal. I'll leave my Piccolo on rotation. It doesn't really matter. I guess we'll just grab all of this ki with him. And then we'll just grab this. Then we should honestly just be able to win next turn with Trunks and Vegito Blue. I think we should be able to do enough damage here with Gohan. It'll depend on what Gohan does for us. 35k is kind of whatever with 720,000 HP. I'm not going to get bent out of shape over that. But it is only possible because of Orange Piccolo. That's not true. I mean, he'd be fine against this int phase, but we do have to thank Orange Piccolo for getting us through that STR phase. Nice double super. Really wish, you know, we get that 70% chance, but that's okay. We did a little bit of damage there. We're getting a lot of attacks in, which is nice. Those do help out Trunks' standby. Unfortunately, the Orange Piccolo transformation does not count for the standby, because that'd be crazy to get like 27 more attacks added in from like the 3 turns of Orange Piccolo. That would actually be ludicrous. Oh, but yeah, there we go. We did some decent damage with Piccolo. Again, no AoEs. You know, I could release this exact same video and just title it like the Orange Piccolo showcase, and because I have a thumbnail made for him too. I could just re-release the same video in the same day with a different thumbnail. What would you guys think about that? But yeah, here we go. I guess let's go ahead and pop this. We haven't seen this in the video yet, so I guess I'll go ahead and play this. That should get us down below 50% HP, which would then allow, or well, get him below 50% HP, and then we should be able to use Vegito after that. So we'll just play these, and then maybe I'll do some final thoughts on Gohan and maybe do a mini breakdown. So stay tuned. Let's go ahead and watch these just for funsies.
俺は負けない。お前に俺たちの生きる思いを潰させるものか。どうした？俺のスピードにはついてこられないか。
All right, everybody, welcome to the kind of like final thoughts section, mini breakdown. We kind of already been over this, but, you know, we'll just talk about it. So Gohan's leader skill is actually pretty good. The superheroes category just keeps getting buffs, which is nice. And then hybrid Saiyans, of course, also just continuously gets buffs. And then to bond to parent and child's a very large category. And movie heroes is also, you know, pretty broad at this point and gets a lot of buffs. So he has a very, like, large leader skill, but I don't really like running him as a leader. And I think even people who like this character agree that running him as a leader is not really viable. One thing that I do want to mention is that I said at the beginning, I think, that I was going to try to run him on a bunch of different setups, but I ended up just using the same team for all of them. I mean, honestly, that team that I was using probably is like his most efficient setup, just because you have like the Gammas there, or you have the Gamma 1, and then you have MVP 17 giving shocking speed, key support, defensive support, which are all like going to help shore up this guy's weaknesses. That is like, you know, one of his issues is his defense key and I mean, just defense and key, really. Those are like his biggest issues, and they kind of help with that. So, his super attack effects, we kind of already talked about these. He does have the stun chance. He's got the debuff. My biggest issue with this is that on his 12 key right here, which is pretty common, I mean, for the most part in this video, I tried my best to make sure that we always got him 18 key super attacks. But it's very common to get this guy 12 key super attacks only, and those only give him 30% defense, and that it does matter. Like that does matter a lot whenever you're consistently getting these. You know, if you could triple super and get 50% defense from each of them, I'd be much happier with this unit, especially because his start of turn defense is always much lower than like Orange Piccolo's or pretty much any other unit on rotations. So like I don't really understand why they held back here. I guess they were trying to do some like parity between like him and Orange Piccolo. Like Orange Piccolo, you know, gets 50% defense and 30% attack, and so Gohan gets 50% attack and 30% defense, but How about they just both get 50%? How about that? Because otherwise, I think their super attack effects are exactly the same. It's just on their 12 key, these are switched. His passive skill, I mean, we've kind of already talked about this. The important things, he guards for 3 turns if there's another bond of parent and child category ally on the team, which is going to be pretty easy most of the time. We had like the blue Goku and Vegeta, right, who were on there, so that works. You know, attack and defense 150% at the start of turn. So essentially for his first 3 turns, he's getting 250% at the start of turn with guard. Pretty decent. That'll basically be his first 2 rotations unless you float him. If you float him, that'll actually count as a 4th turn. Notice, like, if you get him on turn 1, he will come back on turn 4, so then you're not guarding, which is kind of a weakness. This guy, you want to be moving through fights quickly with this guy, or there needs to be, like, a heavy int presence in the fight that you're going into, kind of like with Omega. I was very stressed out about the STR phase, but luckily the GOAT Orange Piccolo was able to help kind of nullify that for us, right? We were able to get through it fairly easily. He gets an additional key +1 per key sphere obtained. This should probably be 2 key per key sphere obtained. That would help him a lot because, again, he does have key issues. Oddly enough. And then, like I was mentioning, they locked these effects in his passive, which I don't really get hung up on the super effective against all types. That's just kind of whatever. But he needs this additional right here, and they locked it behind 20 key. And again, he has to get super attacks in order to build up his multiplicative buff in his passive, which is like vital to his success. So I don't like this. I don't like a key struggling unit that needs key to build up their passive, and then even once he gets the key, it's only a great chance that you build it up. Like, why? If this was guaranteed, I think honestly I would like this character a lot more. If this was just guaranteed, like even you can keep it at 20 key, but just get rid of this great chance. Why does this need to be here? And then probably if this was with each attack performed instead of super attack, I think we're like, he's not perfect, but it helps a lot with the issues that people have with this guy. And then, of course, if this was 50% instead of 30, but that's neither here nor there. The active skill, it is what it is. The most value that you're going to get out of it is the disables enemy action. This thing doesn't really do damage. I mean, you guys saw that throughout the video, right? These are his links right here. Again, the most important one's probably Shocking Speed. If you can get All in the Family active, great, but I'm not going to find it super common that you're getting it active. He is on 1 million teams, which is nice, but if I'm putting him on a team, it's usually as like a last resort. I really don't enjoy running this guy on teams. He is great for Battlefield, though. I do love running him in Battlefield, which I know that sounds corny, but it really is like, he really is good for that. These are his best linking partners. It's basically just going to be other Gokus, Gohans, All in the Family units, Saiyans, you know, things like that. Most of these characters that he's linking well with are going to have All in the Family or like Shocking Speed, Infighter, Kamehameha, Fierce Battle, right? Like that's kind of what we're seeing right here is other people. None of these guys were actually on the team because, again, the most important thing is the key. And so like MVP 17 is actually probably his best partner, right? Because he's giving him 3 key, from support. He's giving him 60% defense support, possibly, 77? And then he's also giving 2 key from your passive and 5% defense from links. So MVP 17 is actually probably this guy's best friend. But yeah, I leave myself from this video saying I think things went well, but I wonder what value this guy really brought me. Throughout this video, you guys know it's like anytime I was coming up on like a tough situation, I was like, oh, it's Orange Piccolo time. I was never saying like, all right, it's Ultimate Gohan time, right? Like it was just like, oh, he's here, he's doing some damage. Like he's not really winning us the fight, he's not really losing us the fight. I was taking steps to ensure that he wouldn't be a liability on the team. But it's just like, what is he doing for me? What is he doing for me on this team that another unit couldn't do for me? That's what I'm left like wondering. And I'm sure you could say that about a lot of units, you know, but I think of what I consider like the really great units in the game, like God Goku. God Goku's a great leader. He dodges, he guards, and he's just like, that unit is almost never a liability for me. I put him in slot 1. He can handle it in like all of the non-dodge canceling fights. I always find him to be very consistent. I think about future Gohan and just how he's like an absolute wall defensively after he super attacks. in the fights that we have right now on global. I think about Bulma in her 2-turn support and her rainbow orb changing. I think about, Orange Piccolo, who was in this video, and you guys saw how much value he brought to the table by just canceling these giant boss abilities. I think about Ultimate Gohan, and he just falls into these other run-of-the-mill units that don't really provide any value to, like, me, the team, anything that's going on. They're just there. Like, all he is a battery for Orange Piccolo to get his active skill and be truly fantastic for us. Like, this guy wasn't doing a crazy amount of damage. Maybe we got an attack break on a super attack. Possibly. I can't prove it happened or did not happen. We don't know. It is possible, though. At the very least, maybe, I don't even know if he saved us some damage there, but possibly we got an attack break with the super attack. Again, we don't know. So I'm just left wondering what values does he have other than just being a battery, and is being a battery enough to put him in the top 10? Because I can go pull up like a polarity. Yeah, actually, hang on. Literally today, literally today, 5 hours ago. I can pull up a tier list here, and I see him at 8. And to some extent, I was looking at this earlier, and I was going top 10 LRs in Dokkan, and I was looking at this, and I honestly, I don't have a ton of like issues with this list. Listen, there have been worse lists than this, but I'm left here wondering. I'm looking at him at 8. And I'm looking at the units around him, and I'm just like, what value is he providing other than being a battery for the number 1 unit? You guys know how I feel about this Blue Goku and Vegeta. If they're doing their job, for this Blue Goku and Vegeta, like if they're doing their job, honestly, I can see them at 2. If they lock down slot 1 like they do, if you're able to get Vegito out like easily, like they can be a complete game changer. But they can also be a huge liability, which is what they usually are for me. So I can see it, but for me personally, like I wouldn't do it. Blue Gogeta, I haven't used him yet, but he seems really solid. And I don't know, from what I've seen, I thought his active skill would have like almost no impact on the fight. But I think just him being a rainbow orb changer, and I actually have seen, like, it seems like these fights go long enough that this guy's active skill can actually matter, like his target all thing that he has. So, and he does like a ton of damage, again, rainbow orb changing. So I can't really comment until I use this guy myself and I try out these new fights and stuff like that, and 5 months on global. But I can see it, right? Like sure. Fusion Zamasu, I always think he's been underrated by most of the community, so at 4, I mean, whatever. Sort of Hope Trunks, I think, is overrated. He looked really good in this video, though. But again, Polarity puts a lot of weight on superhero units because they end up being batteries for this guy. So I get it, right? Like, I've told him before, like, you can go find comments where I've said, like, he should just do team rankings, right? Like, he should just do Orange Piccolo and then, like, have his ideal superhero setup right here. And then maybe it's like, okay, well, the actual number 2 team is, like, the same, but, like, a variant or something. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, he puts a lot of weight on superhero units because of what they do for this guy. And some of them do have other value. Like this guy, they hold down slot 1 really well for the first couple turns. And then if you get Vegito out, they can be, very powerful. Sort of Hope Trunks does have the standby, so if you're able to get that out consistently in fights, I could definitely see where that's good, as long as he's not getting blown away in the first couple turns, because that's his weakness, is that his first 2 rotations, he is very, very suspect. This unit seems crazy. I'm very excited to use this unit. They look nuts. So them being at 6, I don't know that I really have a problem with. Broly, again, very good. Could be a game changer. I need to get my hands on him before I can really comment. But in theory, I like the ideas of what he's doing. Broly, Chi-Lai, and Limo, supporting, guaranteed dodge, potentially the damage reduction support as well. I can see it. Like, they're providing value to the whole team. Same thing with Future Gohan. So I look at a lot of these other units, and it's like, wow, they're doing such crazy damage. They're going to help you blitz these fights. This guy has the standby, could help you win. Same thing with him, kind of. He's got the infinite Zamasu and the high damage reduction, and he's like a huge buff on Broly's team. This unit has the slot 1 lockdown, and I look at him, and I'm like, what do you do? what do you do compared to these other units? Like, even Vegeta and Trunks, you have their really powerful active skill, their really good leader skill. They're still, honestly, a pretty capable slot 1 unit compared to a lot of other units in the game. Bulma should definitely be on here, by the way. She's not out of the top 10. Like, this is nuts. So, to put Ultimate Gohan at 8 and Bulma and down here, like, no. Like, I don't, like, no, stop. Like, she does the 2-turn support, the Rainbow Orb changing, potentially the active skill. Because I've seen some of these fights go a little bit longer, like possibly, like, turn 7 seems pretty common in these fights, from what I've seen. You guys may be able to tell me differently. So it's like, you know, I don't get it. Even these guys, these guys aren't going to help you out for, like, Fusion Zamasu, and, like, AoE fights, but any non-AoE fight or dodge canceling fight, these guys are still going to be really good in. Same thing with this guy. And even in, like, AoE fights, this guy's going to be pretty good in there. Golden, and then I don't really want to talk about these last two, but point being here is I look at Ultimate Gohan at 8, and I have to wonder, what is he doing? Like, what is he doing? Like, not necessarily here on this tier list, but, like, what does he do? All he is a battery for this guy. He doesn't do the most damage in the world. His ki is very inconsistent. He requires, like, very, like, specific setups in order to just make him mid, whenever I could just build the team around other more powerful units and not have to worry about babying that guy. Like, I don't see his value other than being a battery for Orange Piccolo. And batteries are important. It's good to have batteries, but, you know, it's like I said, this is Patrick Mahomes, and this is Kadarius Toney. Like, what's Kadarius Toney doing in the top 10 players in the NFL? Like, what are we doing here? And then I was asking about the Super Saiyan Trio, because they're not even on the list. I thought that was crazy to not even have the Super Saiyan Trio on the list here, but okay. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about Ultimate Gohan here. I know this is a bit of a longer video, so I hope you guys don't mind. It's probably going to be the only video that I put up tomorrow. But you guys let me know what you think. Let me know if this guy's underrated. Let me know if you're just happy to kind of maybe get the, because we've got a new guy coming in soon, right? Like, this guy is going to be a thing of the past here pretty soon, right? So, we'll see. But, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you thought this video was a fair assessment. Let me know if you thought I was too harsh on this guy. Let me know what value you've gotten out of this guy. Do you think people have been too hard on him over his lifetime? Or is he just that bad? You guys, let me know what you think. Thank you again so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you guys, and I'll catch you next time.